Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York. New York Times World News. October 3rd, 5 o'clock America, New York, unearthing everyday life at an ancient site in Greece. Excavations in the Peloponnesian village of Ikolina are yielding rich insights into the lives of the Mycenaean civilization's general population. An archaeologist carefully unearths a pottery fragment.
Washington Post World.
October 3rd, 4:37 America, New York. Somalia says a top al-Shabab extremist leader is killed. Somali authorities say a top leader of the al-Shabab extremist group has been killed in a joint operation by the Somali National Army and international partner forces.
New York Times World News.
October 3rd, 4:35 America, New York. Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine to be awarded today. It will be the first Nobel Prize awarded this year, with more announcements being made over the coming week.
BBC News World.
October 3rd, 3:57 America, New York. Fans of Sydney United 58 condemned for Nazi salutes during Australia Cup final. Supporters who displayed Nazi symbols and salutes at the Australia Cup final should be banned for life, a senior government official says.
RT World News.
October 3rd, 3:46 America, New York. EU mulls exemption for sanctions on Moscow, Bloomberg. Brussels reportedly wants to allow maritime pilots to be hired for tankers with Russian oil. The EU has proposed exempting the services of maritime pilots from sanctions on ships carrying Russian oil. Bloomberg reported on Sunday, citing a person familiar with the matter.
Mirror World News.
October 3rd, 3:02 America, New York. Brazil election goes to runoffs as Lula fails to secure majority over Bolsonaro. Brazil's far-right president Jair Bolsonaro has denied his left-wing rival Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva an outright victory in the country's election after he outperformed the polls. Washington Post World.
October 3rd, 1:48 America, New York. Palestinians. Israel military kills 2 during West Bank raid. Palestinian officials say the Israeli military has killed 2 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank.
New York Times World News.
October 3rd, 0:35 America, New York. Bolsonaro outperforms polls and forces runoff against Lula in Brazil's presidential election. The two political titans will face off again later this month in a race widely seen as a major test for one of the world's largest democracies.
Fox World News.
October 2nd, 23:59 America, New York. Brazil presidential election. Jair Bolsonaro proves polls wrong, forces socialist opponent into runoff. In a significant departure from polls showing a large Lula lead, the leftist leader bested incumbent Jair Bolsonaro by just 4 points, forcing a tight runoff at month's end.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
October 2nd, 23:27 America, New York. We need change. We have a chance. We just have to wait. How Lula supporters are reacting to Brazil's election results. It was going to be a party, or at least that was the plan, and even as we drove towards the thousands of Lula supporters who had taken over a square in downtown Rio de Janeiro, we could hear the cheers and shouting from bars and cafes overflowing with people, and staff struggling to serve food and beer. Lula supporters.
World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
October 2nd, 23:04 America, New York. Top Iran official urges security forces to deal with protesters harshly as videos show people running while gunshots fire. A top Iranian official has urged security forces to deal with protesters harshly as videos emerged of people running down a street while gunfire rang out. People run during clashes with riot police as students protest following the death of Mahsa Amini, in Tehran.
Mirror World News.
October 2nd, 22:34 America, New York. Porn star live streaming her every move for a whole year annoyed her mum keeps tuning in. Atlantis Deep has vowed to livestream herself 24/7 for an entire year, but says she has had to block her mum from tuning in, and claims her dad found out about her career from a billboard.
Fox World News.
October 2nd, 21:56 America, New York. Brazil's Bolsonaro, Lula going to runoff in presidential election. Brazil's top 2 presidential candidates are going to a runoff election after no candidates broke 50% in the first round of elections on Sunday.